As a young woman, Trouter Lafrance joined the small but determined Nazi resistance organization called the White Rose. Now, decades after Lafrance put her life on the line to fight against Adolf Hitler, she has died at the age of 103 at her home in Yonges Island, South Carolina. "I was a contemporary witness," Lafrance told the Bild-Zeitung in 2018. "Given the fates of the others, I am not allowed to complain." As the New York Times reports, Lafrance was a young medical student in Hamburg when she met White Rose member Alexander Schmoll. When Lafrance moved to Munich to continue her studies, Schmoll introduced her to the group's doomed leaders, siblings Hans and Sophie Scholl. Though the White Rose numbered just a few dozen members, they took a brave stand against Hitler and the Nazis. The Washington Post reports that they fought back by tagging buildings with anti-Nazi graffiti like "Down with Hitler" and distributing leaflets urging their fellow Germans to resist. Who among us can imagine the degree of shame that will come upon us and upon our children when the veils fall from our faces and the awful crimes that infinitely exceed any human measure are exposed to the light of day? One leaflet demanded. Another called the murder of hundreds of thousands of Jews a terrible crime against the dignity of mankind. Lafrance played a small but crucial role in the group's activities. As members of the White Rose sought to raise the alarm about Adolf Hitler between 1942 and 1943, Lafrance helped organize the printing of leaflets at a Munich bookshop and distributed them in her hometown of Hamburg by leaving them in public places or tossing them out windows. But though the group was never more than a few dozen members, their activities roused the ire of the Nazis. In February 1943, Hans and Sophie Scholl were arrested after disturbing leaflets in Munich and executed by guillotine a few days later. Other White Rose members met the same fate. At great risk to herself, Lafrance attended Hans and Sophie's funeral in disguise, and quietly waited for the day that the Nazis would arrest her, too. "I was aware that the Gestapo knew about my friendship with those who had already been murdered, so it didn't take too long before I was arrested too," Lafrance recalled, according to the New York Times. But though Lafrance was arrested in March 1943, she avoided prosecution for her White Rose activities. Just days before she was supposed to stand trial in April 1945, the U.S. Army liberated the prison where she was being held. After Germany's defeat, Lafrance emigrated to the United States. There, she met her husband and had 4 children, and largely stayed quiet about her activities during World War II. According to the New York Times, her children didn't learn about what she'd done during the conflict until 1970. Even then, Lafrance largely stayed out of the public eye. It wasn't until 2019, on her 100th birthday, that she was awarded Germany's Order of Merit for rebelling against the dictatorship and the genocide of the Jews. Trouter Lafrance was not at the center of the White Rose. Peter Norman Wojcik, a Norwegian author and journalist who interviewed Lafrance, said according to the New York Times. "She did not physically write any of the leaflets, but she did just about everything else." Wojcik added, "She helped lay the foundation for the revitalization of cultural heritage as a weapon against brutality. She helped make the distribution of the leaflets as practical as possible and helped to spread them." Trouter Lafrance's page is survived by her 4 children, 7 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. After reading about the life and death of Trouter Lafrance's page, discover the stories of other people who resisted the Nazis during World War II. Or, see how 9 ordinary people turned into heroes during the Holocaust. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed and make sure to subscribe to never miss a video. Check out our other videos for more interesting stories. Until next time.